So I'm just starting off by using some watercolours. First of all, I'm just using green watercolour to do a strip of grass, and then I'll just take a red watercolour as well, and I'll just use that to colour in Snoopy's iconic house. Then I just took a pale yellow highlighter to use to colour in Woodstock, which is the perfect colour for him, and you see this throughout the entire spread. And then here I'm just going over my lettering for the title of March, and this is a very, this idea is used throughout the entire spread, and that's to kind of mimic Charlie Brown's iconic t-shirt, which is yellow with a black squiggle line. However, I used peach originally and realised it didn't work, so then I went over it with that yellow highlighter again, and I think that was a lot more closer to Charlie Brown's t-shirt, as you can see here. And then I just took my black pen and just went over all of my pencil lines. And then I just erased all the pencil lines, and that is the title page done. So this next page is my calendar spread, so I have already, as you can see with all these pages, I've already done everything in pencil just to save me time for filming, and so I'm just going over all my pencil lines and just ruling up my calendar for March. So following Charlie Brown's t-shirt design, I am just using that black squiggle, and I am using that as the title bar for all of the days of the week, and then I'm also using that for my YouTube video ideas and my notes columns. I did the exact same lettering design as the previous page, and then I'm going to take that Woodstock coloured yellow highlighter and just put little dots in the corner of every box, and this is where I'm going to put the dates for the calendar. And then I also just use that to colour in the title. And I'm just taking my white ink pen to fill in all the days of the week and the titles that I have for the columns. And now I'm just outlining those yellow circles that I did before and then filling in the dates. So there are two little Snoopy designs I wanted to add to this page. The first one is Snoopy holding an umbrella, and then on top of the umbrella is Woodstock holding his own little umbrella, which is really cute. And then this one is one of my favourite Snoopy doodles ever. It's like the excited Snoopy dance. And so it's just him being all happy and excited. I also have some Snoopy stickers that I found, and so I decided just to fill in some gaps by putting those in. And then I just coloured in those umbrellas blue, and of course coloured in Woodstock yellow. So here's a little overview of my calendar after I filled in some important dates for the month. This next page is something that I've been doing for the past few months, and that's setting out a meal plan that also includes a shopping list, and I found that this really helps for being on a budget. It's taken me a while to kind of perfect the way that I want it done, but I'm really stoked with how it came out, and I've been using this exact layout for the last couple of months, and it's honestly been a lifesaver. So basically what me and my partner will do is we have a little section at the top where it's got each day of the week, and we'll just decide what meals we want, and then we'll write up a little shopping list, and so we'll go and like on a weekly shopping trip and just buy everything we need for the week, which just means no matter what happens we have food. And also it means that we'll save money as well, because we won't be buying takeout because we have meals that we want to like cook. And we've been using Pinterest a lot to get recipe ideas, and that's been really helpful, and like you can find some really easy recipes that taste absolutely amazing. So yeah, that's what I've been pretty much using this spread for. And if you're also on a budget, this is honestly a lifesaver. And yeah, so I've kind of been perfecting the way that I want it to be laid out to make it as easy and friendly as possible. And yeah, it's pretty awesome, and I'm really stoked with this. And again, I'm just using the Charlie Brown t-shirt design for my like shopping list column, and that yellow Woodstock colour. But yeah, this spread has been a lifesaver. Now onto my weekly spread. This is the first week of March. Well, it's like the end of February, the first week of March. I've really enjoyed using horizontal spreads recently, and that's what I love about bullet journals, is like you can choose if you want a horizontal spread or a vertical spread, and like you can always change up your mind if like what you've got currently isn't working for you. But yeah, so this is pretty much just how I've been laying out my weekly spreads for the past wee while. And again, I'm just going with that squiggle, like that black squiggle t-shirt design. So I'm just underlining where all the days of the week are going to be. And then I decided to fill in all the days of the week in red pen. And then I've got two columns down the bottom. One of them is just for like a to-do list, and the other one is my budget, where I have little like subcategories of like where I'm spending my money. And again, for the dates, I'm just using that yellow highlighter, also to colour in Woodstock, of course. And that's just where I'm going to put the dates. And yeah, here's my little Snoopy doodle, which I am just going over. And then on each of the days of the week, I have divided off a little bit of space where I can write down my expenses, but also where I write down my work shifts for the day, because I currently am working two jobs, and so this is just an easy little section that I can just use to keep track of which days I'm working and or which days I'm not. And it's also good to track my expenses as well, because I am on a budget, so I don't want to be spending money where I can save. So instead of showing you all my weekly spreads, because the video would be so long, they're all pretty much the same, just with a different doodle on the bottom. And here we are at the last page. I realised that I had left out the last week of March with the food, like the meal plan column, so I decided to put that in alongside my habit trackers. So the habits that I'm tracking at the moment, first of all, is working out, because that's kind of like my New Year's goal, is to work out from home a lot more. And then eventually get another gym membership. And then I've got driving. I personally don't like driving, and it's kind of like a very anxious thing for me. Like I get very severe anxiety when I drive, so I'm trying to slowly incorporate driving more into my weekly like life, I guess. So I just keep track of when I do end up driving. And then my last column is just for no junk food and like no takeout, because I mean I do have a meal plan for a reason, so I am trying to eat less food and spend less money on like junk food. Not eat less food, but you know, like eat less junk food. And then I've also got a weight tracker down the bottom, just so I can kind of like track like how my weight's going and stuff like that. And then for the very last page, you can pretty much just like watch me do this. I'm not going to explain it too much, but it's pretty much just one of my favourite Snoopy scenes ever, which I decided to watercolour. Yeah, I'm using really cheap watercolours, like I don't even know if they're like a known brand, but they're just kind of what I had at home. But yeah, you can just watch me watercolour, and of course I had to have Charlie Brown in my Snoopy spread somewhere, so that's where Charlie Brown makes his appearance on the very last page. But yeah, you guys can just watch this, and yeah, enjoy my little cartoony watercolour spread for the very last page. And that concludes my Snoopy inspired March spread for 2019.